Welcome back, everyone. Today we're exploring one of America's most collected coins, the Roosevelt dime. Did you know that an ordinary-looking 10-cent coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more to collectors if it's a rare variety or mint era? In this video, I'll show you the Roosevelt dimes to look for, explain what makes them valuable, and reveal the current market values of some of the most sought-after US dimes. Before you spend your pocket change, watch until the end. You might already own a valuable coin. Let's get started. First up, the 1979 Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark. Millions of people have this coin sitting in old jars, piggy banks, family collections, or tucked away in forgotten drawers. Because of countless stories online about valuable dimes, many collectors are asking one important question. Could a 1979 Roosevelt dime be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today? In this video, we're going to uncover the fascinating history of this coin, explore its unique features, explain what makes certain examples incredibly valuable, and reveal the current market prices that collectors are actually paying. Stay with us until the end, because the final value depends on details that many people overlook. The Roosevelt dime has a remarkable history that dates back to 1946, when the United States Mint introduced the design shortly after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt was widely admired for leading America through the Great Depression and World War II, while also supporting the March of Dimes campaign that fought against polio. To honor his legacy, the U.S. Mint replaced the long-running Mercury dime with the Roosevelt dime. Since then, billions of Roosevelt dimes have entered circulation, becoming one of the most familiar coins in American history. By 1979, the series had already become a favorite among collectors, because each year's production offers its own collecting challenges and opportunities. The 1979 Roosevelt dime was produced at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located just above the date on the obverse of the coin. During that year, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of dimes for circulation. Because such a large number were produced, most surviving examples are common and easily found in pocket change. However, collectors know that mintage alone does not determine value. Condition, rarity within the surviving population, striking quality, and unusual mint errors can dramatically change a coin's market price. That is why two coins with the same date and mint mark can have completely different values. The front of the coin features the left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek. Around the portrait are the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1979. Above the date appears the tiny D mint mark, indicating production at the Denver Mint. Although the design appears simple, experienced collectors carefully inspect every letter, number, and detail, because even the smallest differences can affect desirability. Sharp lettering, strong hair details, and an attractive surface are all signs of a better preserved example. The reverse displays one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. At the center is a torch representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. The inscriptions United States of America, One Dime, and EPLURBUSUNUM surround the design. Collectors closely examine the reverse for strike quality, complete details on the torch bands, and the overall brilliance of the coin. Strongly struck examples are generally more desirable than weakly struck pieces. The 1979 Roosevelt dime measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter and weighs approximately 2.27 grams. It is composed of an outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Since 1965, Roosevelt dimes intended for circulation have contained no silver, making composition an important factor for collectors. Because these coins were heavily used in commerce, finding one with an original mint luster decades later is increasingly difficult, especially in the highest certified grades. One of the biggest reasons collectors become excited about the 1979 Roosevelt dime is the possibility of discovering an outstanding mint state example. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS67, MS68, and above representing extraordinary preservation. While worn coins are extremely common, coins that survive with nearly perfect surfaces, strong luster, and minimal contact marks are surprisingly scarce. Professional grading services carefully evaluate every detail before assigning a grade, and even a 1-point increase can significantly raise market value. Mint errors also attract tremendous interest. Some 1979 dimes have been reported with off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, die chips, struck through errors, or dramatic double dies. Genuine mint errors occur during the manufacturing process and are often much rarer than ordinary coins. Depending on the type, visibility, and certification of the era, collectors may pay anywhere from several dollars to hundreds or even thousands of dollars for exceptional examples. Many people believe every old coin is valuable, but the reality is more interesting. A typical 1970-90 Roosevelt dime that has circulated and grades only good is generally worth about 10 cents, or only a small premium if sold as part of a collection. Most examples found in everyday circulation are not rare enough to command significant prices. The coins that attract serious money are usually those preserved in outstanding condition or featuring genuine, desirable mint errors. Auction records demonstrate how dramatically condition influences value. Certified mint state examples in very high grades have sold for several $100s, while exceptionally rare top population coins have realized prices reaching into the thousands of dollars when offered at major auctions. These remarkable prices are driven by rarity, collector demand, and third-party certification rather than by the date alone. Such sales represent the finest known examples, not ordinary circulated coins. If you think you may own a valuable 1970-90 Roosevelt dime, begin by examining it under bright lighting with a magnifying glass. Look for original mint luster, minimal scratches, strong details on Roosevelt's hair, a crisp torch on the reverse, and any unusual striking characteristics. Avoid cleaning the coin because cleaning can permanently reduce collector value. Even if a coin appears dull, leaving it in its original condition is almost always the better choice. Collectors who discover an unusually well-preserved coin often consider having it authenticated and graded by a respected third-party grading service, such as PCGS or NGC. Professional certification provides confidence in authenticity and condition, making valuable coins much easier to buy and sell. High-grade certified examples consistently attract stronger interest from serious collectors than uncertified coins. The popularity of Roosevelt dimes continues to grow because they are affordable to collect, widely available, and full of interesting varieties. Every year new collectors search through rolls of coins hoping to discover overlooked treasures. While most 1970-90 dimes remain common, the possibility of finding an exceptional specimen keeps the excitement alive. That sense of discovery is one of the greatest joys of coin collecting. Today's coin market rewards quality, originality, and rarity. An ordinary circulated 1970-90 Roosevelt dime is usually worth around face value. Attractive uncirculated examples may be worth several dollars to several dozen dollars. Certified gems can sell for hundreds of dollars, while the finest known certified examples or spectacular mint errors have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. Understanding the difference between a common coin and an exceptional one is the key to recognizing real value. Next up, the 1983 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark is one of the most talked about modern United States coins among collectors. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary 10-cent coin that millions of Americans used in everyday transactions during the early 1980s. However, collectors know that certain examples of this coin, especially those preserved in exceptional condition or displaying rare mint errors, can command impressive prices ranging from hundreds to several thousands of dollars. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating story behind the 1983 P Roosevelt dime, exploring its history, unique characteristics, rarity, and the market values that continue to surprise collectors around the world. The story of the Roosevelt dime began in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The United States Mint introduced the new design to honor the president for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his support of the March of Dimes campaign against polio. Designed by Chief Engraver John R. Sinnott, the Roosevelt dime replaced the Mercury dime and has remained one of America's longest-running coin designs. By 1983, the series had become a familiar part of daily commerce, yet the coins struck that year would later become highly desirable because of their unusually low-quality strikes and the scarcity of well-preserved examples. The 1983 P Roosevelt dime was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the small P mint mark located just above the date on the obverse. This was only a few years after the Philadelphia Mint began placing mint marks on circulating coins, making these early P mint mark dimes historically interesting. Although hundreds of millions of 1983 P dimes were struck, many entered circulation immediately and experienced heavy wear. Furthermore, relatively few collectors saved pristine examples directly from bank rolls or mint sets because no official uncirculated mint sets were issued by the U.S. Mint in 1982 or 1983 due to budget and production decisions. As a result, finding sharply struck, original mint state examples today is considerably more difficult than many collectors expect. One of the most important reasons collectors seek the 1983p Roosevelt dime is its condition rarity. Coins graded fine condition generally remain common and are worth only modest premiums unless they display significant mint errors. However, specimens preserved in mint state grades such as M-66, M-67, or higher become dramatically scarcer. Because so few examples survived in exceptional condition, competition among collectors has pushed auction prices for the finest certified examples into the hundreds, and in some cases thousands of dollars. This dramatic increase demonstrates how condition can completely transform the value of an otherwise common coin. The physical characteristics of the 1983p Roosevelt dime remain consistent with other Roosevelt dimes of the era. The coin is composed of a copper core surrounded by outer layers of copper-nickel-clad alloy, giving it its familiar silver appearance despite containing no actual silver. It weighs approximately 2.268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. The obverse displays Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait along with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, the date 1983, and the P mint mark. The reverse features a torch representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch representing strength. Collectors also pay close attention to the quality of the strike. Many 1983p dimes exhibit weak strikes, particularly on Roosevelt's hair details, and on the horizontal and vertical bands across the torch on the reverse. Coins showing exceptionally sharp details and fully defined torch bands are much more difficult to locate. Although full bands designation alone does not automatically make every coin worth thousands of dollars, certified examples with strong strikes and superior preservation often achieve substantial premiums because they represent the very best surviving examples of this challenging issue. Beyond condition rarity, mint errors create another exciting category for the 1983p Roosevelt dime. Some collectors search for off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, double dies, rotated dies, and dramatic misaligned dies. Genuine mint errors authenticated by professional grading services frequently sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity, rarity, and eye appeal of the error. It is important to distinguish true mint errors from ordinary post-mint damage caused during circulation, since only authentic production mistakes generally command significant collector interest. The absence of official mint sets in both 1982 and 1983 created an unusual situation in modern U.S. coin collecting. Normally, collectors could purchase freshly struck coins directly from the mint each year, preserving large numbers in pristine condition. Because those annual mint sets were not produced during these years, far fewer uncirculated examples entered private collections immediately after production. This historical circumstance explains why top-grade 1983p Roosevelt dimes are substantially scarcer than their large original mintage might suggest, and why certified examples continue attracting strong demand from registry set collectors. Current market values vary greatly depending on condition and certification. A circulated 1983p Roosevelt dime in fine condition, without any rare mint error, generally carries only a small premium above face value. Extremely fine and about uncirculated examples may bring slightly higher prices. Certified mint state examples, however, can range from approximately $25 to well over $300 depending on grade, while superb gem examples with full bands may sell for several $100s or considerably more. The very finest certified registry quality examples have realized auction prices exceeding $1,000, with record quality specimens sometimes approaching several $1,000s when competition among collectors is especially strong. Professional grading plays a major role in determining value. Organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, authenticate coins, assign numerical grades, and encapsulate them in protective holders. Buyers are often willing to pay significant premiums for certified coins because grading provides confidence regarding authenticity, preservation, and overall quality. When discussing coins worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, certification is often an essential factor influencing final market prices. If you believe you own a valuable 1983p Roosevelt dime, begin by examining it carefully under good lighting with a magnifying glass or coin loop. Look for sharp design details, strong torch bands, original mint luster, and any unusual characteristics that might indicate a genuine mint error. Avoid cleaning the coin under any circumstances, as cleaning can permanently reduce collector value. Instead, store the coin safely in a non-PVC holder, and consider professional grading if the coin appears exceptionally well preserved or displays a significant mint error. The growing popularity of online auctions and registry collecting has helped increase interest in modern U.S. coins like the 1983p Roosevelt dime. Collectors now compete internationally for the highest graded certified examples, creating stronger demand for coins once considered ordinary pocket change. As more collectors build complete Roosevelt dime sets, the importance of condition rarity continues to support strong prices for the finest surviving examples. This trend demonstrates that even relatively modern coins can become highly desirable when outstanding quality and limited availability intersect. Another reason this dime fascinates collectors is that it teaches an important lesson in numismatics. Rarity is not always determined solely by mintage numbers. Although millions of 1983p dimes were produced, relatively few survived in premium condition because of widespread circulation and the absence of official mint sets. This combination of historical circumstances transformed a common circulation coin into one of the key condition rarities of the Roosevelt dime series, proving that preservation can be just as important as production numbers for collectors searching through pocket change, inherited collections, or old coin jars. The 1983p Roosevelt dime remains an exciting coin to examine carefully. While most circulated examples are worth only modest premiums, discovering an exceptionally preserved specimen or a dramatic authenticated mint error could lead to a coin valued from hundreds to even thousands of dollars. Every collector dreams of finding that overlooked treasure, and the 1983p Roosevelt dime reminds us that remarkable discoveries are still possible with patience, careful observation, and knowledge of what makes a coin truly special. Next up, the 1985 Roosevelt dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P Mint mark. We'll explore its fascinating history, unique features, the factors that make certain coins valuable, rare mint errors, grading, and the real market prices that collectors are paying today. If you own a bright, well-preserved 1985p dime, don't miss this video, because one small coin could be far more valuable than its face value of just 10 cents. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Shortly after his passing in 1945, Roosevelt was widely admired for leading the United States through the Great Depression and World War II, while also supporting the March of Dimes campaign against polio. The coin replaced the famous Mercury dime designed by Adolph A. Weinman. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has become one of America's longest-running circulating coin series. By 1985, millions of these dimes were entering circulation every year, making them a familiar part of everyday commerce across the United States. The 1985 Roosevelt dime with the P Mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Interestingly, before 1980, Philadelphia coins generally carried no mint mark. Beginning in 1980, the Philadelphia Mint started placing the P Mint mark on dimes, making the 1985p easily identifiable. Over 764 million examples were struck, meaning the coin is common in circulated grades. However, finding one with perfect surfaces, blazing luster, and no contact marks is much more difficult, making top-quality specimens significantly more valuable. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of President Franklin Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinnock. Around the portrait appear the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1985. Just above the date is the small P Mint mark indicating Philadelphia. The reverse displays a torch symbolizing liberty, an olive branch representing peace, and an oak branch symbolizing strength. Around these elements are the inscriptions United States of America, 1 dime, and EPLURBUSUNUM. These classic design elements have remained largely unchanged for decades. The 1985p Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper core with outer layers of copper-nickel-clad metal. It weighs 2.268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Because it contains no silver, its intrinsic metal value remains very low. Instead, collector demand depends almost entirely on condition, rarity, eye appeal, and any unusual mint errors or varieties present on the coin. Although millions were produced, not every 1985p dime survives in outstanding condition. Coins that remained untouched immediately after leaving the mint often retain their original mint luster, sharp strike, and clean surfaces. Professional grading services assign grades on a 70-point scale, with MS65, MS66, MS67, and above being highly desirable. The higher the grade, the fewer examples exist, creating greater competition among collectors. This rarity in top condition is what can transform an ordinary 10-cent coin into a collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors also search for unusual mint errors. Some of the most valuable include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, die breaks, double strikes, and dramatic misaligned dies. Double die varieties, while uncommon, may also attract strong interest. Coins displaying these unusual characteristics are unique because no two mint errors are exactly alike. Depending on the severity and rarity of the error, values can range from several $100s to well over $1,000. One of the most important features on Roosevelt dimes is the full bands, FB designation. This refers to the horizontal bands across the torch on the reverse. When these bands are fully separated with crisp detail, grading services may award the full bands designation. Because achieving this level of strike quality is difficult, collectors often pay substantial premiums for certified full bands examples. Especially in high mint state grades, most circulated 1985p Roosevelt dimes remain worth only face value or a small premium. Uncirculated coins typically sell for around $2 to $15, depending on quality. Certified MS66 examples may bring $20 to $60, while MS67 pieces can sell for $100 to several $100s. Exceptionally preserved coins, graded MS68 full bands, have achieved auction prices reaching into the thousands of dollars because they are extremely scarce in such outstanding condition. Likewise, major authenticated mint-era coins can also command prices from several $100s to over $1,000. Depending on rarity and collector demand, professional grading plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. Organizations such as PCGS and NGC evaluate authenticity, preservation, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. A certified holder gives buyers confidence, especially when purchasing expensive examples. Two coins that appear similar to the naked eye may have dramatically different values if one receives a higher certified grade or a full bands designation. If you own a 1985p Roosevelt dime, inspect it carefully under bright lighting using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for original mint luster, sharp details, minimal scratches, and clearly defined torch bands. Also check for unusual mint errors such as doubled lettering, off-center designs, clipped edges, or striking abnormalities. Handle the coin only by its edges to avoid fingerprints or damage that could reduce its value. The 1985p Roosevelt dime is popular because it combines affordability with the possibility of discovering an exceptional rarity. While most examples are common, top-grade coins and dramatic mint errors remain elusive. This creates excitement among collectors who enjoy searching through rolls of dimes, inherited collections, estate sales, and bank boxes hoping to uncover an overlooked treasure. Over the years, premium-quality 1985p Roosevelt dimes have appeared in major coin auctions where competitive bidding has driven prices into the hundreds, and in exceptional certified cases with full bands and elite grades, even into the thousands of dollars. These results demonstrate how condition and rarity, not simply the date, can dramatically influence market value. Ordinary circulated coins generally do not reach these levels, but extraordinary certified examples certainly can. Before selling any potentially valuable 1985p dime, avoid cleaning or polishing it, as cleaning almost always reduces collector value. Compare your coin with certified examples. Consider submitting unusually well-preserved pieces or major errors for professional grading, and research recent auction results to understand realistic market prices. Taking these steps can help ensure you receive a fair value. If your coin proves to be a premium example, the 1985p Roosevelt dime reminds us that valuable collectibles can sometimes hide in ordinary pocket change. While the vast majority are worth only 10 cents, coins with exceptional preservation, full bands, or genuine mint errors can command prices from hundreds to, in rare certified cases, thousands of dollars. The next time you sort through your coins, take a closer look at every 1985p Roosevelt dime. You might discover a remarkable piece of American numismatic history that has quietly waited decades to reveal its true value. Next up, the 1989 Roosevelt dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint have surprised collectors with impressive auction prices. While millions of these coins were produced, only a tiny number survive in extraordinary condition or with rare mint errors. In today's video, we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating story of the 1989p Roosevelt dime. We'll explore its history, unique features, grading standards, rare varieties, and why some collectors are willing to pay astonishing amounts for the finest known examples. Make sure you watch until the end because one tiny detail on your dime could make an enormous difference in its value. The Roosevelt dime first entered circulation in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime shortly after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt was honored for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his support of the March of Dimes campaign against polio. By 1989, the Roosevelt dime had already become one of America's most recognizable circulating coins. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes that year to meet the nation's demand for everyday commerce. Because of this enormous production, the average 1989p dime remains common today. However, collectors know that even common coins can become extraordinary when preserved in exceptional condition, or when they display unusual minting characteristics. The 1989p Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper nickel, giving it the familiar silver appearance despite containing no actual silver. The coin weighs approximately 2.268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge with 118 reeds. On the obverse appears the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinek, while the reverse displays a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The P mint mark appears just above the date, identifying it as a Philadelphia Mint issue. Although the 1989p dime is not considered rare by mintage alone, collectors eagerly search through rolls and pocket change because condition is everything. The overwhelming majority of these coins entered circulation immediately after striking, accumulating scratches, contact marks, and wear over decades of use. Finding a coin that still displays brilliant original luster, razor-sharp details, and nearly flawless surfaces is becoming increasingly difficult. Professional grading services reward these exceptional survivors with high mint state grades, dramatically increasing their market value compared with ordinary examples. One of the most attractive qualities of the 1989p Roosevelt dime is its brilliant mint luster when preserved in original condition. Collectors carefully inspect the coin for strong strike quality, fully defined hair details above Roosevelt's ear, crisp lettering, sharp torch lines on the reverse, and clean branch details. Coins with attractive eye appeal, vibrant cartwheel luster, and virtually no visible marks are highly desirable. The smallest imperfections can lower the grade significantly, making top-quality specimens extremely scarce despite the large original mintage. The real excitement often comes from mint errors. Some 1989p Roosevelt dimes have been discovered with off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, die breaks, struck through errors, double dies, and dramatic misaligned dies. Depending on the rarity and severity of the error, collectors may pay anywhere from several $100s to well over $1,000. Unique mint errors are especially valuable because no two examples are exactly alike, making each error coin. Professional grading companies, such as PCGS and NGC, evaluate coins using the internationally recognized Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from poor-1 to mint state -70. Most circulated 1989p dimes receive little collector attention, but coins graded MS66, MS67, MS68, or higher become increasingly scarce. Every point higher on the grading scale represents significantly better preservation, stronger luster, fewer contact marks, and greater collector demand. This is why two coins with the same date can have dramatically different market values. Current market values vary widely depending on condition. A circulated 1989p dime is generally worth only 10 cents. Attractive uncirculated examples may sell for a few dollars. Certified mint state examples graded MS66 or MS67 often bring several tens of dollars, while exceptionally rare MS68 or finer examples can sell for hundreds of dollars. In extraordinary cases involving elite registry quality coins or significant mint errors, auction prices may reach into the thousands of dollars. Because collectors compete aggressively for the finest known specimens, many people wonder how a coin with such a large mintage could ever reach four-figure prices. The answer lies in population rarity rather than production rarity. Millions of coins were struck, but only a tiny fraction remain in nearly perfect condition after decades. Registry set collectors compete for the absolute finest certified examples available. When only a handful of coins achieve the highest grades, competition can push prices dramatically higher during major auctions. If you own a 1989p Roosevelt dime, Begin by examining it under good lighting with a magnifying glass. Look for brilliant original surfaces, full mint luster, sharp design details, and any unusual minting characteristics. Avoid cleaning the coin because cleaning almost always reduces collector value. If the coin appears unusually well preserved or shows an obvious mint error, consider submitting it to a professional grading service for authentication and grading before selling. The Roosevelt Dime series remains one of the most widely collected coin series in the United States. Many collectors attempt to assemble complete date and mint collections, while advanced specialists pursue only the finest certified examples. This consistent demand supports the market for premium quality coins. As more collectors compete for top population pieces, exceptional examples continue attracting strong interest whenever they appear at auction over the years. Several exceptionally preserved Roosevelt dimes from the late 1980s have achieved surprisingly strong prices through major coin auctions. Coins certified at the highest available grades often attract bidding from registry collectors determined to improve their collections. While not every 1989p dime reaches these impressive values, the best-known examples demonstrate just how much condition influences the coin market. Proper storage plays a critical role in maintaining value. Collectors recommend handling coins only by the edges, avoiding fingerprints, storing them in acid-free holders, and protecting them from moisture and humidity. Never polish or clean an old coin in an attempt to improve its appearance. Original surfaces are prized by collectors, while cleaned coins usually sell for much less than untouched examples absolutely. Even though the odds of finding a top-grade or rare error coin are relatively low, remarkable discoveries still happen in pocket change, bank rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten coin jars. Every valuable coin found today began as ordinary circulation currency. Careful observation, patience, and knowledge are the collector's greatest tools. Taking a closer look at your dimes could lead to an exciting discovery. The 1989p Roosevelt dime proves that value in coin collecting is determined by much more than mintage figures. While the average example is worth only face value, brilliant uncirculated specimens, elite certified grades, and genuine mint error varieties can command prices ranging from hundreds to even thousands of dollars in today's collector market. The key is learning how to recognize exceptional quality, preserving coins correctly, and verifying important finds through professional grading. Before spending your next Roosevelt dime, take a moment to inspect it carefully. You may be holding a small piece of American history that collectors would love to own. Next up, the 1996 Roosevelt dime with the D Mint mark, struck at the Denver Mint in the United States. While millions of these coins were produced for circulation, a tiny number in exceptional condition or with rare minting errors have become highly desirable among collectors. In this video, we'll explore the history of the coin, its unique characteristics, grading standards, rare varieties, and why some examples have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt shortly after his death in 1945. Roosevelt was admired for leading the United States through the Great Depression and World War II. He also supported the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio, making the dime a fitting tribute. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has remained one of the longest-running coin designs in American history and continues to circulate throughout the United States. The 1996 D Roosevelt dime was produced at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D Mint mark located on the obverse, just above the date. Over 1.4 billion examples were struck, making it a common circulation coin. However, while ordinary circulated pieces remain worth only 10 cents, coins preserved in exceptional mint condition or displaying unusual mint errors are much scarcer and significantly more valuable. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinnock. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1996. On the reverse appears a torch symbolizing liberty, an olive branch representing peace, and an oak branch representing strength. The inscriptions United States of America, one dime, and EPLURBUSUNUM complete the elegant design that has remained largely unchanged for decades. The 1996 D Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper nickel, giving it its familiar silver appearance. It weighs 2.268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Because billions were produced using modern minting equipment, collectors pay close attention to condition, strike quality, and any unusual production errors that distinguish one coin from another. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A heavily worn 1990-60 dime usually remains worth only face value. However, coins that never entered circulation and retain their original mint luster can command substantial premiums. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. The closer a coin comes to the perfect M-70 grade, the greater its market value and collector demand. Although millions of 1990-60 dimes were saved by collectors, very few survive in flawless condition. Coins graded M-67, M-68, or higher are much more difficult to find. These top-grade examples often display brilliant luster, razor-sharp details, and almost no visible contact marks. Because population numbers are relatively small at the highest grades, competitive collectors are willing to pay significant premiums to complete high-quality registry. Some of the most exciting 1990-60 Roosevelt dimes are not ordinary coins, but error coins. Collectors search for off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, die cracks, die chips, strike-through errors, and missing clad layer errors. Depending on the rarity and severity of the mistake, these error coins may sell for hundreds or even several $1,000s, especially when authenticated by a respected grading service. One of the most important characteristics collectors examine is the full bands, FB designation. On the reverse of the dime, the horizontal bands across the torch should be completely separated and sharply struck. Coins earning the full bands designation are much scarcer than ordinary examples because achieving such a sharp strike required exceptional die quality and proper minting pressure. Full band specimens generally command much higher prices than similar coins lacking this designation in today's collector market. A circulated 1990-60 Roosevelt dime is generally worth only 10 cents. Attractive uncirculated coins may sell for $2 to $15. Certified examples graded around M-66 or M-67 often bring $30 to over $150, while premium full-band specimens can reach several $100s. Exceptional registry quality coins or spectacular mint errors have realized prices ranging from hundreds to several $1,000s. Depending on rarity, eye appeal, certification, and auction demand, collectors do not simply pay for age. They pay for rarity, quality, and demand. Since billions of 1990-60 dimes exist, only the finest known examples receive exceptional attention. Registry set competition encourages collectors to acquire the highest graded coins available, and this competition can push auction prices dramatically higher whenever an outstanding specimen appears for sale. If you own a 1990-60 Roosevelt dime, begin by checking the mint mark above the date to confirm the D. Examine the coin under bright lighting and magnification for unusual doubling, die breaks, missing clad layers, or other mint errors. Look for strong luster, minimal scratches, and sharply defined torch bands. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can significantly reduce its collectible value. If your coin appears exceptional or unusual, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service. Certified coins inspire buyer confidence because experts verify authenticity, assign an official grade, and encapsulate the coin in a protective holder. This certification often increases marketability and can substantially improve the selling price for rare or high-grade examples. While most 1990-60 Roosevelt dimes remain common, the finest certified examples and genuine error coins continue to attract serious collector interest. The coin market changes over time, and outstanding specimens often perform well because demand for top-quality registry coins remains strong. Collectors who carefully preserve exceptional examples may find opportunities to sell them for impressive premiums in future auctions. The 1990-60 Roosevelt dime reminds us that even an everyday coin can become a prized collectible under the right circumstances. Its connection to American history, classic design, full bands designation, rare mint errors, and exceptional high-grade examples make it a fascinating coin for both beginners and experienced collectors. So before you spend every dime you find, take a closer look. That small coin with a Denver D mint mark could be an ordinary 10-cent piece, or it could be a remarkable collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right buyer. Thanks for watching.